Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the liberal loudmouth. So there has been another drip from the local media in the Tulsa area. So I want to cover that. So let's take a look at what Lori Fulbright from News on 6 had to say about an update for the next Benedict case. All right, on Facebook, you can see here. It said the medical examiner's report has not been released yet. Owasso police said yesterday the preliminary autopsy shows Benedict did not die as a result of trauma. So this is the new part. The affidavit submitted to a judge to get a warrant shows Owasso police have treated this as a criminal investigation from the beginning. Police have said they would do so until it was proven otherwise. A judge signed the search warrant less than 24 hours after Benedict died, giving police authority to collect evidence at the school. It says officers took 137 photos of the school and inside the bathroom where the altercation took place. It says officers collected 2 whole swabs of stains on the bathroom floor and got records and documents of all students involved. The search warrant says Owasso police officers initially suspected foul play was involved. Note, that was before the autopsy. It says the school nurse recommended Benedict go to a medical facility because Benedict mentioned having a headache after hitting their head on the bathroom floor. It says at the hospital, Benedict's mom called police but said she did not want to file any charges at the time, but did ask police to address issues at the school. The document says Benedict's mom called 911 the day after the fight, saying Benedict's eyes had rolled into the back of their head and was struggling to breathe. Owasso paramedics did CPR on Benedict, who later died at the hospital. Once the full medical examiner's report and toxicology report are available, we'll report them. The attorney for the Benedict family did issue a statement yesterday, in part asking all threats being made to Owasso schools to stop immediately. Let me show you something else real quick. Now, this comes from a non-local media source, right? I think this is like Wisconsin or something. So it says here, witnesses share what happened in fight that occurred before 16-year-old's death. The death of a non-binary high school student following a fight has members of the community split. Some want more information on what happened, while others are concentrating on mourning the loss as the investigation unfolds. According to Owasso high school student Shayla Perez, Nex Benedict was involved in the fight that the district said happened in the school bathroom nearly 2 weeks ago. I just kind of stood back because no matter how I moved, I would have got hit, Perez described. Perez said she was in the bathroom stall at the time. Quote, head get like slammed into paper towel dispenser twice, and first it came open and then it came off the hinge on one side. The fight happened a day before Benedict died, the school district and police department said in statements. There was then silence from police and the district until February 20th. That's when 2 statements were released. Owasso Public Schools clarified in its statement that the district was quiet due to the ongoing investigation in an effort not to disrupt police and out of respect for the confidentiality of all involved. The statement also laid out a timeline of events on the day of the fight to clear up speculation and misinformation. It said the fight was broken up. All students involved were walking when they left the restroom. They were checked by a nurse, and while all of the injuries were determined to be non-life-threatening, a parent was advised to have their child seen by a doctor. Quote, a few of their hair was messed up, but for the most part, no one really had super concerning marks or anything, Perez added. There was a few bruises, maybe. Perez said that included the student who died. There are still questions over how Benedict died. Police said Wednesday afternoon the teen's death was not the result of injuries sustained from the high school fight, but additional autopsy and toxicology results are pending. All of the misinformation, and you hear one thing and then you hear another, Perez's mother said. Now, here we go. Anna Richardson, another parent in the district, said the accusations against the school, police, and media have been very harmful during the investigation. It's been very negative and makes it hard for them to do their jobs, Richardson said. She's organizing a vigil for Benedict this weekend in town to mourn. She hopes she can get everyone on the same page. Coming together as a community and supporting everyone and doing positive things that we can while we let the professionals do what they need to do, Richardson said. Police officials said they'll spend the next 2 weeks interviewing school staff and students. Once that's done, they'll hand the results over to the county district attorney. Now, this parent who just kind of pops out of nowhere, right? It's just another parent in the district. Just another parent in the district. It's like, please let the professionals do their job. Just please stop. It's been so negative. Please, you just need to let the professionals do their job. The community has to come together and support everyone and do positive things that we can while we let the professionals do what they need to do. But we can't be critical of the school, and we can't be critical of the police department. Who is this person? Well, why don't we take a look? Boy, there's an Anna Richardson from Owasso, Oklahoma. She just happens to be on the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce, and wouldn't you know it, her face is right next to Margaret Coates' face on their website. Margaret Coates, she's the superintendent of Owasso Public Schools. I'm just another parent, though. I'm just another concerned parent. I have no other axe to grind or anything like that. Goodness, just another parent. Now, I'm going to point out that a witness from the bathroom said that the head was slammed into a paper towel dispenser so hard and multiple times because it popped open and then it came off of one of the hinges. And Owasso police, according to the report they just did, Owasso police said that they took 2 swabs from the bathroom floor. Did you take one of the paper towel dispenser? Did you wait until after the maintenance crew had cleaned it up? Is that what happened? Did the maintenance crew clean it up already? Because according to them, they didn't file a search warrant to do an investigation until after Nex died. But let's be clear. If 3 girls are beating up on one girl, which was reported to them at the hospital, and this child is non-binary, would that not be something that you might suspect as being a hate crime? And wouldn't that be something that you might want to investigate prior to the death of this person? I wonder if they ever even interviewed anybody prior to Nex dying. I don't know. Maybe. Is the media going to report on that? Maybe. They might drip another bullet point in their little order of things that the school district has told them to post and the police department has told them to post. Now, I want to tell a story about News on 6, right? News on 6 has a history of covering for the school district. I remember back during COVID, and I don't remember exactly when this was, but they had reached out to me because I ran this quite large Facebook page about coronavirus. And they reached out to me to do an interview. I met them at Starbucks. They brought their video camera, it was a whole thing. They did an interview, asked me questions, and said they were going to run that story that night. Because it was a story everybody was talking about. So I'm like, okay, cool. It didn't show. The next day it didn't come on, and I'm like, are y'all going to run the story? Because I was criticizing the school. And I reached back out to that reporter, and I'm like, hey, what did you guys kill the story? And he's like, oh, no, we're just waiting on a response from the school because we want to make sure that we show both sides. And I'm like, fair enough. That's, good on you for that. But then that very night, News on 6 did this long-form interview with the superintendent of Owasso Public Schools, and they didn't offer a single other parent, not me or anybody else, that criticized what they said. It was just, this is what the school district is doing, and we're going to give them this whole segment to explain themselves because people were protesting the school. They were getting it from both sides because I wasn't an anti-masker, right? I wasn't out there saying, everybody got to go. Everybody should be coughing in each other's faces just to prove that we're all cool. I wasn't that person, but they were getting criticized from both sides. So they let them go on the news station and say what they wanted to say to make themselves look better. And here they are, drip, 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 drip information. 2 weeks go by, right? And also I want to point something out here. Okay, so if we look at the News on 6 site, here it says at the hospital, Benedict's mom did call police, but said she did not want to file any charges at the time, but asked police to address issues at the school. That's interesting. Somebody calls the police to say, no, I just wanted you to come here. I didn't want to press any charges. I just wanted to talk to you, and maybe you could talk to those people. Okay, that's possible. But let's look at what the Owasso Police Department said as far as that goes. On the afternoon of February 7th, an Owasso school resource officer was assigned to respond to Bailey Medical Center, where Nex Benedict was being examined. The school resource officer interviewed Nex and their parent concerning the altercation at the Owasso High School. Okay, so I want to point out that this was the school resource officer. Right? The school resource officer shows up to the school almost immediately. I mean, those guys are really fast. The school pays the police department like $60,000 a year for that kind of response. But what the school had said was that the Nex's parent declined to press any charges at the school, and the resource officer never responded to the school, apparently, because if the school resource officer had been there during that altercation, why would the mother need to wait until she got to the hospital to make that 911 call? These people are criticizing misinformation, yet even they can't get their story straight. Which is it? So let me get this straight. Nex's mother went to the school to pick up her child. The school nurse said, well, maybe you could get in an ambulance. Maybe you could. I mean, I kind of, it's suggested because Nex has a headache. And the mom is like, well, no, I'll just take her up there and don't worry about the school resource officer. I'm going to drive to the hospital and then call him. Maybe I'm being nitpicky here, okay? But I feel like the school should have called that school resource officer there because that's what they pay them for. If there's a fight that's so bad that things are vandalized in the bathroom where somebody's head is smashed into this paper towel dispenser, and this is, keep in mind, this isn't necessarily misinformation. This is coming from a witness as per that News Channel 7. This Perez person, you think they would just come out there and lie about that? And then I have questions. Did they clean that bathroom before the police arrived? Had the police responded in a correct manner, that bathroom would have been shut. There are multiple bathrooms in that school, by the way. The kids still could have used a bathroom. They would have had police tape on that thing until they finished their investigation, because to me, 3-on-1 with the one being a non-binary student sounds like a hate crime to me, doesn't it? Is that not something that the Owasso Police Department likes to report on? Why did they just not obligate a report? That doesn't compute in my head. If there were drugs there, you think that school's going to call the cops and make that child be part of a police investigation? You think? But one of them getting their head smashed into the paper towel dispenser so hard that it literally comes off the wall, don't you think that warrants some kind of an investigation, especially when that person that was having their head smashed into the wall and falling into the floor is a protected class of citizen? I don't know about y'all, but I got questions why nothing was done that day regardless. Because the school could have made this police report. The officers could have forced this issue. At that point, I don't know that it would be a domestic issue. The police officer certainly would have discretion to say, no, that I believe that a hate crime occurred here, or I believe that, an aggravated assault occurred here, not just a simple assault and battery. I believe that that's true, so we're going to go ahead and proceed with an investigation into who did what and why. They could have done that, but they didn't. And had they done that, maybe that bathroom wouldn't have gotten cleaned. And if you notice, they only took 2 swabs from the floor. Did they not swab the paper towel dispenser, or did the school destroy evidence when they replaced it? Did they replace it, or did they just screw it back to the wall? Or are you stating that that witness was lying? I don't know. And keep in mind that they keep leaking this information out a little bit at a time for one purpose, and that is to get people to shut up and stop being critical of them, and then so everybody forgets, and we're already seeing that happen. People aren't talking about it on Twitter. They've outraged, they virtue signaled as much as they can. They screamed about, you didn't say they, or you didn't say next, you said Dagney, don't dead name. They went out and did all that, and then now it's starting to die down. And now the only people that are left are the idiots that are going on the Facebook and maybe calling them. I don't know, because I haven't personally seen any violence being threatened at the school. I haven't seen that. This is what they're claiming. Would they lie? I mean, maybe. Maybe they would. But all that does is serve to keep the eyes off of the school. And then you have those, I'm just a concerned parent, Anna Richardson, on the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce right next to Margaret Coates. To just, I just happened to find myself in front of this camera. I don't know how that happened. I just don't get it. I was just standing there, and then the news media showed up, and I just happened to be a board of director, Chamber of Commerce, and I just didn't mention that to the reporter. Right. I don't know, guys. I'm afraid that this story may die, and that nobody's going to get held accountable. And the people, really, honestly, I'm gonna have to give this one to the people on the left who are muddying this issue up with unnecessary bullshit. People on the right mostly were like, hey, we don't know what happened, let's wait. People on the left, just raging against the machine and then doing stupid shit. And then now the everybody's focus is going to be, the poor district and the poor police department. Oh gosh, they were just so mean to them. They were so mean to them. And then everybody's going to forget that Next was bullied and bullied and bullied and bullied, and it blew up in an altercation that resulted in a death the following day. And the police are like, well, it wasn't due to trauma. The preliminary report that we're not going to show you, no, we promise it says it wasn't trauma from that. Anyway, y'all, that's it for today. If you want to keep on top of this, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll do videos when I hear more about it. I appreciate it, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Peace.